Well, quite a series in Colorado. I think some of our hair is gone and our blood pressure numbers don't look so hot right now.
A lot of things to uncover, so let's not waste any time. Let's get started right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. An eventful series in Colorado, a little more challenging than we may have thought and expected, but the Rays took 2 of 3 from the Rockies, and we're going to go day by day, game by game here, starting off with Sunday, which was a 3-2 win for the good guys, getting their record up to 5-5 now. They're an even 500, and I don't know what else to say besides this was the Ryan Pepiot game.
Yeah, this is the first of hopefully many Ryan Pepiot games. If you didn't watch him pitch, 6 scoreless. He was working those 3 pitches, the slider, the changeup, the fastball, and he was getting ahead of hitters. And I think 71% of his pitches were strikes. So, MLB average is usually around 63, 64. He went 71%. He was just looking nasty. And fun fact, he became the first visiting pitcher to throw 6 scoreless innings with more than 10 strikeouts and no walks at Coors Field. How cool is that, Kevin?
The first visiting pitcher in all of history since the franchise was created in 1993.
That's what MLB.com said, and I could not believe it.
That is crazy? Remarkable. I
Yeah.
can believe it, and I can't believe it. I can believe it in the sense of Colorado is where pitchers go to die.
Right.
Their careers go kaput. I feel bad for Jalen Beeks right now. Yeah, it was an outstanding number for Ryan Pepiot, which brings up the point. I think he exited with 94 pitches. And based on what transpired in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings with the bullpen, it just got me thinking of why not roll him out for the 7th? Put him on a pitch limit, pitch count, see how he does against the first batter, and then make a move or maneuver from there. Because like we said with, I think it was the Rays facing Eovaldi, or whenever there's a starter that's dominating, the moment you take that starter out, the bats breathe a sigh of relief. Say, okay, now we can get settled in. Because we're not doing anything against Pepiot, but we can do something against Clevenger. We can do something against Maton. We can do something against others.
It's a psychological thing, right? Like you're like, oh, finally, like that guy is gone. Like nothing can be better than that guy that we just faced for 6 innings. So I think it's psychological, what the batters face. But that's a good question, because what do the Rays have that they say, you know what, this is it? Because it could be analytics that they have, like, look, after the 6th, we're good, and bring in the bullpen. Or do the Rays actually touch on the human side of this? Do they go more on the feel of like, okay, that's a really good way to stop that outing. He's a young pitcher.
Right.
Get him out while he's feeling good. He's feeling like he's dominating the world. That can be a really good building block for Ryan Pepiot. Like, where do the Rays lean towards when they take out a guy like that? Is it more the human side, or is it more analytics? And honestly, Kev, I know people would say, oh, obviously the analytics, but in this case, I think they might lean towards the human side, which is nuts to think.
Yeah, it's possible, but all we know is that Pepiot was amazing. Like you mentioned, all of his pitches were working, especially the 95, 96 heater up and away, outer third, that he was able to get a lot of swing and misses on, and credit to Ben Rortvedt for his framing ability. And I think that, again, there's a reason why he was the catcher for Garrett Cole. He's able to do good things back behind the plate. And then Pepiot, we saw the changeup too. I mean, and I think we're learning and seeing that he won't use it just against lefties. He'll use it against righties as well. Speaking of lefties, I think he faced Charlie Blackmon and retired him on 3 straight pitches to get his 10th strikeout. That is not an easy feat to do that against Charlie Blackmon, who, I mean, just 20 seconds here. I think it's amazing that he's still kicking around and still doing solid things at 37 years old and spent his entire career in Colorado. So he's been in a Rockies uniform for like, I don't know, 15, 16 seasons, 4-time All-Star. Like, he is very, very accomplished. And we saw some really good plays over the course of the weekend in right field. So hopefully Pepiot is able to keep it up. That's a good building block. I mean, if you can do it in Coors, you should be able to do it pretty much anywhere from that point. But it was mostly the Ryan Pepiot show. But luckily, and I think fortunately for him, he may not have been pressing as much because he did have a 3-0 lead to work with in the early going. I think it was the 3rd inning by the time he had that. And that's where Austin Shenton and some others came in. Austin Shenton getting his first major league start, getting a couple hits. His first MLB hit was an RBI double. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all, man. I mean, he showed up. It's good to see him, not only doing it with the bat, because, he did go 2 for 4 with that RBI, like you said, and he did score a run with that series single, but picked it at first. That double play, I believe in the 8th, to get out of that mess from the bullpen.
I totally put that out of sight, out of mind, because that entire sequence, like 7th, 8th, 9th inning, was pretty much just an entire mess.
Yeah, it was like hair on fire kind of thing. But he did pick it right at first. I want to, I understand he is the 26th man. I get that. It's just when injuries happen and you have the possibility of seeing a guy that you normally would not have seen. Austin Shenton was not in anybody's radar to start the season opening day from spring training without any injuries. Let's be serious here, okay? If there had not been injuries, he just doesn't make it. Like, there's just a hierarchy of people in front of him. Now, those people got injured, so he got in with merit, of course. But this is the thing. Now that you have a guy that you wouldn't have normally have seen, what is it not smart to see what he has now that you have him up here, instead of just like, hey, you have a 1 start every 7 days? Like, isn't it a little bit more with more substance to just take out the squeeze the juice out of this opportunity and say, like, okay, what does Austin Shenton have? Because maybe he does have something. Maybe he could be a Luke Raley sort of guy where let's just give him the rope, see what he can do with it. And if he does something, great. If not, hey, he's the 26th man. What are we really expecting?
Right. No, I think that's fair. And we've seen that before with guys that, they crush it in AAA, crush it in the minors, and it takes a bunch of injuries for them to get their opportunity. And when they do get their opportunity, the Rays just don't really give them necessarily a fair shot or fair shake. I think, as great of a story as he is, and go read the Mark Topkin profile on some of the adversity and challenges that he's overcome, I think when some of the injured bats get healthy, something's going to happen with Austin Shenton.
Yeah. I
don't know if it's a trade or I don't know what his option situation is, but I don't necessarily see him as of today as a foothold in this organization for the future.
No. So in that case, I guess it would make sense if they're thinking about trading him. They also don't want to expose him too much, because then you could have a Vidal Brujan situation where the value decreases exponentially. Yeah.
Yes. No, that's fair. All right. We will also discuss what happened on Saturday and Friday's game. I'm glad we more or less glossed over how the Rays almost blew the outstanding outing by Ryan Pepiot, just pinch hitters coming in and hitting triples and breaking balls and bases loaded, no outs. Okay, yeah. Let's move on from all that. They need to clean it up. We could just put it that succinctly, if you will. All right,
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. Hey, it took, what did it take last year? It took the
2 months,
bullpen like 4 months, 3 months to get clicking.
At least.
Although the difference was, I mean, maybe our fault, I don't know. But leading into this season, we said, "Oh my gosh, this bullpen couldn't be any more good. It's easy street. We're settled. We don't have any question marks here."
It could be the best of the franchise. That's why things on paper do not mean anything. But we will get to the implosion on Friday. But you got to tell people something about first.
Yes, we have to tell the audience about Prize Picks. Spring training is over, as you know, and baseball season is underway. So don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Pick entries, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs. Take your pick of more or less and add them to your Prize Picks entry today. Also, in addition to baseball, Prize Picks has something for every sports fan. They have basketball, League of Legends, and everything in between. You can pick LeBron, Shohei, Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, all in the same entry. Very, very cool stuff. So go ahead, download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. So good, I'll repeat it again. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100.
Look at you naming Jude Bellingham like that. Love that.
Yeah. Well, it was in the script. I have no idea who Jude Bellingham is. I assume he's a soccer player.
Very good. Very good. Okay, let's one more question. Where is he from with that name?
Jude Bellingham is from Europe, I presume. UK.
Good. One more.
Oh, like I got to get closer? Or?
Yeah, let me give me the country.
Oh, England.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Sorry, I thought I'd. Okay, yeah, that's fair. England. All right, I'm on the right track. I'm locked on soccer.
There you go.
We have one of those.
I don't think so.
No, but Ulises would be a good candidate for that. Locked on international soccer, maybe.
There you go. I like
Locked
that.
on World Cup.
Yeah,
it's happening. It'll be here before you know it. The Rays on Saturday, they won by a score of 8-6, but it wasn't easy, and it took a late, unbelievable comeback to get to that point.
Unreal, man. What that Saturday game was. Very cold, by the way. It looked like they were just having the worst time, especially Randy Arozarena.
Yeah, I don't think Randy, like Pete Fairbanks, likes performing or playing in the cold. I think it was 60 mile per hour gust, chilly. Like, it's cold when everybody has long sleeves and those face masks. Some guys, I think it was Randy in particular, that had the hand warmers as well across the waistline. So it just had to be a miserable 3+ hours because, I mean, these guys are from warm weather climates. You play in the trop. Like, and we've said it before, like, sometimes I think part of why the Rays maybe struggle earlier on to start the season is, they go on the road to Chicago or somewhere on the Northeast where it's just not baseball weather as we know it.
And, you go back to last year, they had like a really long homestand. And when they went outside, they went to, play the Nationals. And we know what the Nationals quality of baseball team was last year. So,
yes.
Yeah, it's rough, man. And he had basically the only thing you could see from him was his eyes. He was covered all the way up. He did not have a good time. 0 for 5, 3 Ks. So
yeah, I think he did make a play or two in the outfield, but beyond that, he was absent-minded at the plate.
Yeah, and who wouldn't be? I mean, you're just like standing there, shivering. Like it has to be rough, but it wasn't rough for Isaac Paredes because he keeps showing up that pop, third home run of the season for him. Man, it's really exciting to think what Isaac could be as a right-handed power threat for this lineup, being 24 years old.
Yeah.
Like, I know he is a Super 2, so he's going to start getting more expensive for the Rays. But if a long-term deal could be achieved here and how he's been playing third base lately, I don't know. This guy's just, it seems like he could really be special.
Yeah, and I mean, he started that rally in the 8th inning. There were 2 outs?
Yeah.
And he changes the complexion of the game with a home run. And then I think the Rays were able to rattle off 4 consecutive hits after that between Palacios and Ramirez and Rosario. Like, it was a big deal then. And then for some reason, the Rockies bring back Lawrence in to face Yandy, which seems like the worst decision ever. I think Yandy Diaz has Justin Lawrence's number, whether it's an 0-2 count. It doesn't matter what it is. He's doing some damage there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was it's a weird game, and quirky things are happening when Jose Siri, of all people, delivers 2 walks in one game. I didn't know if he was going to get 2 walks all season.
Yeah.
And let alone he had 2 in one game. And then this is what I liked about Saturday's game. First, putting Siri, if he's going to continue to do this of finding a way to get on base by hook, by crook, by walk, by base hit by pitch, whatever it is, I don't care. You get on first base, and then you roll the lineup to Yandy, and then you can steal second, you can steal third. He'll steal anything. What we're learning, I would not be shocked if he has a game or a day where he gets on base like 4 times, that he might go after Carl Crawford's 6 stolen base mark. Like, that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
He'll take second. He'll take third. He might even try to take home on you.
He doesn't care. Like, it's like that level of, I am better than you, and I know it, and I'm going to show it, which is great to have as an athlete. Like, that is basically like the main ingredient is like, have trust in yourself, have confidence in your skill level. And Jose Siri has none of that is lacking in his game.
No.
And when you have that type of speed though, Kev, like, you have to utilize it. And I know you have to be smart and you have to be a little bit less reckless, but I will always lean towards more aggressive running than shy running. I think there's a line between recklessness, but yeah, I mean, he is really showing this year. The Rays as a whole, I mean, they're leading the league in stolen bases so far. So
yeah,
they are showing we're going to do this, but Jose Siri is showing that I think if he has the possibility of hitting 25 bombs, which we were like, oh, okay, he's got pop. He's got way more speed as a tool than power as a tool. So if he can hit 25 home runs, this guy's like, dude, I can be a 30-30 guy. Easy. I can do this, but he just needs to get on base first.
Yeah. And even beyond that, you just tell him like, hey, sometime in this situation, trying to get on base is better than trying to go for a solo home run, because you get on base, you get to second, maybe get to third. You have Yandy Diaz up, who's automatic pretty much. So, and the other thing too, is you're creating havoc and creating pressure on the opposing pitcher for, frankly, better hitters than you. Yandy Diaz, Harold Ramirez, go on down the line. I mean, and you, like, I think there was a situation, I can't remember if it was Friday or Saturday, but you get into taking the extra base, you get into, well, I guess it would have been Siri that was on third, where you have Brandon Lau up and the infield has to play in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a challenging perspective from there as well. So hopefully he's able to keep that up. And with him, he's got so much wheels that whoever's on the mound can throw, a 95, 96 fastball, perfect position for the catcher in a perfect throw to the second baseman. And he can still get there in time before the throw is made. And even beyond that, the catcher, the pitcher, and whoever's covering, third baseman, second baseman, shortstop, everything almost has to go right for them to get Jose Siri out. And that's not easy to do. I mean, so many things can happen where a ball is dropped on the transfer, you fumble the transfer, the ball is thrown offline, the ball is thrown short, and it's tag is made late. I mean, the ball can be thrown over the head. Like, you've really got to be, and I think this is where the scouting reports come in handy. Like, which guys you can run against and which guys you probably shouldn't run against. But I think Siri might be the outlier where he can run and be successful against anybody and everybody.
And the thing is, like, he wants to show that he can run against anybody, that he's not afraid of doing it. But I'd like to point out 2 names You mentioned his first, Rorvet. My goodness, he is really impressing with the bat. That game,
Yes.
1 for 3 with a couple RBIs, a walk. He doesn't look good when he is swinging and missing. Like, I know a lot of people don't, obviously, but he especially doesn't look good when he swings and misses. But the bat is really impressive so far. Hopefully, I know he's not going to one dot this thing for the whole season, but if he can just be somebody that you can kind of not hate watching come to the plate and feel like something could happen, that would be tremendous. The second name, Tyler Alexander. I don't know about you, but when your guy gives you 4 1/3 with 4 runs, 4 Ks, 8 hits, that just screams to me 5th starter spot. So, like, I understand as Rays fans, we want to have 1 through 5 just like nails, but really, I don't think we have much to chastise Tyler Alexander. Like, he gave you a normal 5th spot, 5th starter kind of outing. I don't know about you. I don't know if you
maybe a little worse than that. I think at the end of the day, the reason that Tyler Alexander is in this spot is because of injuries. And I think he's kind of a swing 5th man, 6th man, whatever it may be there. I mean, the thing with, honestly, the Rays clearly had no reason winning this game based on what Feltner provided on the other end, because he was kind of like Saturday's version of Ryan Pepiot with the swing and miss and the strikeouts and the fastball and all that. But when I watched Tyler Alexander, and no disrespect from him, but I do get some of those, and I think he's better than Jalen Biggs and better than Josh Fleming, but I do get some of that semblance of he'll give up like 2-out RBI singles. He'll give up an extra base hit with 2 strikes and a guy's behind in the count. A seemingly well-located fastball or breaking ball is still hit. Giving up action to all fields, to all types of hitters. Like, there was nothing that he did that screamed, oh my gosh, he's intimidating. And I love to have this guy a part of his rotation. It's just the nature of the biz. I think maybe as he learns and goes along, things will get figured out. But that's just what you're going to have to deal with. Is he'll give you a 4 1/3, 4 2/3, but expect 4 or 5 earned runs. Like, the offense is going to need to come to play.
Yeah, those days the offense needs to come to play, and that's really just the way that it has to be. And you know what? A part of your rotation has to be game time, people. You got to use game time because it is the place to get amazing deals. Guess what? You can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater. They've got flash deals where you can save even more exclusively in-app deals, or select seats ahead of the game or event. And my favorite is you get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect. So today, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time, and you can download the app and you can use code LOCKEDONMLB and you will get $20 off. That's right. So again, terms apply. Download the app and get $20 off by using promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
All right, getting to Friday's game, which was quite the adventure as well. The Rays ultimately lost 10-7, but not without some hijinks and some intrigue there. It was funny because watching the game from the jump, first inning, it was like, oh, it's going to be a good day for the Rays, where Yandy gets a full count walk, Harold gets a base hit, you got 2 on, no out, Paredes protecting with 2 strikes, shoots a ball up the middle, and like, it was like, okay, we're going to put on a bunch of runs, which they ultimately did, but not necessarily in the order experience that we may have expected. And honestly, like, I know there's more about this game that we want to dive into. I can't even be that mad about it because, like, this is the Rockies' highlight of the season. Opening day, opening day, Ryan McMahon, grand slam. That's it. You're not going to the playoffs. You're not winning anything. You're not competing for anything. You're going to win. You might be lucky to win 70 games. So before a stacked crowd, home opener, like this is your special moment. This was your World Series here. This is your highlight reel. That's it.
And somebody has to be on the other side of that, right? Like, and it just had to be the Rays, which is unfortunate. But yeah, it was a tough game overall at the end of it, because you are thinking, oh well, it's a loss. That no, obviously it always makes you feel a certain type of way when your team loses, but then you actually get a rally going, and you're like hoping, hopefully it's enough. Hopefully it's enough.
Yeah.
Boom, it's enough. They get over the hump. You're thinking, man, this team really has some character, and they do. But then the implosion happens, and then the worst case scenario happens, and they turn the game around on you, just like when you did it 10 minutes ago. It was rough. But I don't think there was anything rougher than, Poche, rough outing. 1 inning, 3 runs allowed.
Yeah. He did redeem himself later on in the weekend, though.
He did. Wagasback, rough outing. 2 innings, two runs allowed. Obviously, Jason Adam, blown safe. Pete Fairbanks couldn't find the strike zone. Bullpen having a bad time on Friday. The quotes after the game had me feeling a sort of way, because Pete goes, the baseballs were horrible. You can quote me in that in all caps. They were horrible.
Oh, he's blaming the baseballs.
Exactly. He was like, I don't. He's like, the ones in the bullpen were fine because Charlie mudded them up for us, but the ones that were in game, they were. That is. I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm not even going to say what was wrong with them. But no excuses though. I have to throw strikes. So like, obviously, social media dunked on his quote, because you can't say it was the baseballs, they were horrible, and then 10 seconds later say, but no excuse though. Like, gotta pick a lane there, Pete. Gotta pick a lane. But then I started thinking throughout the weekend, with better mood when the Rays were winning, and thinking, if you're Pete Fairbanks, is there a way that you can say those were awful game time baseballs, those should not have been used, and also take accountability for your performance and not sound like you're using the baseballs as an excuse?
Mm-hmm.
And I think there isn't. I think, unfortunately, he has to kind of take the social media dunking, because he has to say the baseballs were horrible in order for it to even change, for the next road team to have a possibility of having good game time baseballs. Like, he has to say that, but he also has to be accountable. Hey, dude, like, you didn't do your job. Hey, guess what? So what? Littell threw 5 innings with 1 run allowed, and
how were the baseballs for Zach Littell?
Magically
were they different?
It was only your baseballs, Pete, that were horrible. Everybody else's were great. Like, it just didn't.
I'm telling you, I think it's the cold weather, and then playing in the Rockies too. It messes with the spin.
He said it wasn't the cold. He said, I can pitch in the cold. On Sunday, they were like, no, he was going to pitch the 10th. He can pitch in the cold. Bro, I am left with a bad taste in my mouth out of that quote, but I also don't know how else he could have said it.
Yeah. Well, I think the only solution is don't allow Pete to pitch in April or October. I guess that's what it is. Again, like, put hand warmers in your pockets. Do something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. All I know is that your closer, your $8-9 million man coming in and walking 3 dudes consecutively is not a good look.
Yeah.
But credit to the Rays for coming back. I mean, if there's an ethos from this weekend, it's that they won't give up and that they don't give up. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I think this will be a positive, beneficial experience for them, a coming together moment, dealing with tough situations, tough conditions, and having some success. out of all that, because it's not always going to be on easy street. You're going to have to find multiple ways and multiple aspects to win. Not every game is going to be perfect on the box score. A 5-1 win where you get, a run every inning. Like, there's going to be some crazy stuff happen.
And that was
we've
against
seen
the
that
Rockies.
over the years.
And that was against the Rockies. So, like, it's going to just get tougher. And I know a series is just a series, but, you got to take the positives and the negatives with it. And that was the positive for sure. Showing the resilience, showing the fact that you can come back and that you can come together. But just as a last thing, boy, your most expensive bullpen pieces in Maton and Fairbanks, that's starting off so hot. That's what $10 million put together between Fairbanks and Maton. Oof.
Yeah, and then Jason Adam too. Who's your second most high leverage arm? I know he didn't get fully dinged for the home run there off Ryan McMahon, but that was not a fun moment indeed. But again, hey, Rockies fans came out in full force and they got to see a movie.
There you
go.
Exactly.
There it is. Somebody's always, somebody's got to be the dog. Somebody's got to be the tree. In that case, the Rays were the tree. Sometimes weird things happen when you go on the road, when the Rays go on the West Coast. I mean, a couple of years ago, didn't they go like 0 for 6 against the Mariners? Like, they couldn't win against the Mariners. It's crazy. So, and now you face the terrible Los Angeles Angels. So it'll be late night with the Rays. So we'll see what happens with all that. But it's an opportunity for the Rays to get above 500. Hopefully they maybe do their winning in a little bit different of fashion, but we'll see what happens with all that. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.